I've always really liked Apple products, right? Ever since I've discovered them, I was like, these are great. They're just better design. They're intuitively designed, and I just really like them. And yeah, I worked for about 6 months, and then I got fired because I made a YouTube video complaining about some of my customers. But I was kind of getting sick of working there after that point anyway, just because the customers were annoying. I don't like working with the public, is what I've learned. And I guess YouTube is sort of that, because it's the public giving their comments and stuff. But that's like the worst bit of YouTube. It's also the best part of YouTube, you know, when people like rally behind something and they think of jokes that you hadn't made, and you're like, oh, that's so good, and you know, they're like My mum used to work in, she's worked with customers like all her life in doing like phone operator work, and then in a jeweler shop and restaurants like that. And she says that working with the public is like the best and worst of humanity. Basically, you get kind of the full spectrum of people. So yeah, I agree with that.
Alex Day is someone who knows all about the public being the best and worst of humanity. Becoming popular on YouTube through his sarcastic sense of humour, he had reached over 1 million subscribers by June 2014. His fans rallied around him, helping him to achieve 3 UK top 40 hits, leading him to be heralded as the future of music by publications such as Forbes and The Guardian. Then, a scandal broke on YouTube. A number of YouTubers have been accused of being manipulative towards their fans, coercing them to have sex with them. As a result of the accusations of emotional manipulation and infidelity, Day received a huge amount of hate on his YouTube page and on the social media website Tumblr. He stopped making videos, the response too vitriolic whenever he tried. Now, almost a year after the event, Alex was attempting to make a comeback onto YouTube. He agreed to let me document the months building up to his comeback. I wanted to know what it takes for someone to carry on when the world is seemingly against them, and what it is like to live a life on the internet. Now Buddhist, vegan, and only eating meal replacement shakes, Alex lived in an abandoned police station, which is where we first met. He offered to give me a tour.
This one clearly used to be a cell, right? Because you've got the little thing where you would use that, but it's kind of locked up. So someone bought this police station, so now it's privately owned. That happened in March. They're probably going to demolish it and turn it into flats, but that will take a couple of years. So we registered with this company. They act like a management agency for the building, so we moved in, we pay cheap rent, and in return the owner knows that we're going to be like guarding the place, so looking after it, and it's like, you know, it's not going to get vandalised or become really rubbish for the area because we're keeping it nice, and we'll leave when they tell us to. That's the main building, so that's 3 floors, and then I'm round the corner in like a little annex area. And I love this little room. I've got a secret extra bit. I hope that looked as flourishing as I wanted it to, and not just that I'm a pixie. This is my little meditation space. Usually I'll sit on this cushion and she'll sit here, and we would just sit for like 20 minutes or something. And then my bedroom, I'll like turn the actual house so you can see my bedroom sort of proper, is just there. Oh, I haven't made the bed. Oh, I didn't realise I'd have guests. But yeah, that's my bed. This is a 5-minute journal. It's amazing, this. It's so you fill it out like in the morning and then at night. So you write things you're grateful for, what would make today great, and then daily affirmations. So you do that in the morning, and then last thing before bed you go open it again and do like amazing things happened today, and then how could I have made today better. Yeah, and it just has a really nice effect. It doesn't take very long. One journal is about 6 months. It's like they describe it as like a toothbrush for your mind. Yeah, I needed, I don't know, I used to have a flip chart about 5 years ago when I was living in my old place, and it's really helpful physically writing things out. These are video ideas. Any of them I've filmed, I've crossed off. The only one I've filmed so far is Guess My Penis, which I won't explain. I'll send you the footage and you can just use it. Those are like formats, so those are things I could do sort of regularly every week. these are like potential ideas for video titles that I just thought would be good. That was just called Life in a Police Station. But I like the idea of having a title which is emoji or contains emoji. I like the idea of a title which is just 3 ellipses, but I haven't got an idea of what sort of video that would be.
What's Trigger Warning Alex?
Trigger Warning Alex Day is the name of my first video back after the Make It Rain video. It's basically the video of me saying, hey, so I'm back. I'm going to make 3 videos a week. This is what you can expect. See you soon, you know. But I thought that would be a good title for it.
And why Trigger Warning?
That's the thing they say on Tumblr a lot when it's sort of like spoilers, but with really bad negative effects. Like if you say, oh, spoiler alert, you know, someone so-and-so dies, the worst that happens is that you're just like, oh, now I'm spoiled. But a trigger warning is like, you know, I don't know, you were raped and here is a post talking about rape. So it's like it could trigger you. You could have like really emotional or violent
distress.
Distress. And some people feel like that about me, so I wanted to fairly warn them, and also sort of reference that. So yeah, Trigger Warning Alex Day. And it's one of those titles that sort of like, I don't know, people that don't like me really won't like it, and people that do like me will think it's really fun. I like causing a reaction in people. I think it's better to be hated than to be ignored, for sure. And the thing that I like about that is that it's legitimately helpful. Like I am literally, because people that are angry that don't want to watch my videos, I feel like that's the best title I could give, to be like, look, if you don't like me, you're not gonna like this, don't watch it. And I know they will anyway, because that's what they do. They get all angry and they watch, and then I get even more like views and money and whatever, because their anger fuels it, which is kind of silly. But they can't be angry at me for being like, oh, he's making fun of Tumblr, because I'm actually not. I'm legitimately just trying to use that language in a way that makes sense to the people that find it detrimental to watch my videos.
Did you think they will get that?
No, and it's not for them to get it. It's like, it amuses me that I'm like, the funny thing about that is that I can try and be legitimately helpful, but it will still annoy them anyway. And I find that funny, so I'm gonna do it. but I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. If the title was something like, you know, fuck off you haters or something, then that's just antagonizing without there being any point. Whereas I feel like, yeah, that's actually kind of useful, and it sets it up. I don't know, I just feel like it sets the right tone, to be honest, which is like, I'm back and I don't really mind if you don't like it.
My first day with Alex had been an interesting one. He was charismatic and charming, his energy infectious. But there was something about him I couldn't put my finger on. The Trigger Warning title seemed needlessly provocative, and it seemed to me he was just poking the community for the fun of it. Did he really not care what the public thought of him? Did he really prefer to be hated than ignored? I caught up with him next in the studio, recording his 5th album.
Yeah. Cool. Beautiful. That's the nicest bass we've done today, I think. That like is just so lovely.
Simple.
Yeah. I love a bass. It's my favourite instrument, bass.
Is it?
Yeah. So if I could like be in a band, I'd just play bass. It's like my favourite thing to do as a musician. Just play bass. Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
Because you can probably, usually like people don't really pay attention to the bassist like when you're on stage. So you can just sort of jam and like really enjoy the music and stuff, but not feel like you're performing. It's nice.
They can actually probably play melodies, you know, bass, you know.
Yeah.
Melodic bass line. So that's really cool.
5 songs, that's quite good.
That's quite good.
Yeah. I mean, none of them are finished, but like they're all getting there.
Yeah, definitely.
Usually I do like 1 song every day or 2, and we've done like 5 half songs in 1 day. So it's pretty good. I've been like a lot more sensible and being like, okay, let's do all the guitar and then all the bass and then all the vocals. So that's been really handy. Whereas normally, I just record 1 song from scratch and then finish that and then do the next one. I thought you'd come over. It's like more fun but inefficient, I'm realising.
Let me go into that.
Also, most of my songs usually sound really different, so there's nothing that you can batch like that. Whereas the new album that I'm recording, I want to have like a consistent sound. So it all has kind of the same instruments and kind of same arrangements to it.
Seems to be a theme with you at the moment about making things more efficient and more streamlined.
Yeah.
Like your
I always
sleep.
am doing that though. I'm always doing that. I've got my powder with me, but no, but I'm always doing that. It's just with music usually I just want to do what's right for each song, but I'm taking some advice from Taylor Swift now because she said that she wanted 1989 to be a more sonically cohesive album than her prior effort, Red. Because Red didn't win Album of the Year and she was gutted about it. And she decided it was because it wasn't, her exact words were it wasn't sonically cohesive. And I was like, I want to be sonically cohesive. So, yeah. And also I got some advice from someone in the music industry who said that they don't, what did they say? They don't know what I would be able to offer them as an artist because all my songs sound so different. But it's almost like I'm just doing like parodies of different songs. Like they're like, if we signed you, what would we get? Because every song would be crazy. Like if someone was like, write a song for Alex Day, it could just be anything.
Yeah.
Which I agreed with, and I'd always kind of liked, but I just decided that I wanted to define myself a little bit more. And this is a completely different studio which I've never worked at before, so that's really interesting as well. And he's using Pro Tools instead of Logic. Just everything feels new, which is interesting and nice. Yeah. But I managed to get a cheeky little horn in, so that's, you know, not everything is... You can take the boy away from the synths, but yeah. Flying in circles, so confused, searching.
So still ploughing on with the food powder.
Oh man, it's the best ever. Yeah, it's great. Like it's just, I never have to think about what I'm eating. I just be like, I'm hungry and done.
It's not boring though.
Yeah. I love it. It's so wonderful having food be boring. I don't have to think about it. Yeah.
That seems like a weird...
Well, why? It's like food should be boring, shouldn't it? Because it's just sustenance. So like, I get to just not think about it. I don't have to worry about a balanced diet or vitamin intake. I just have that, an amount of times a day, and then I just get all my nutrients and I'm full and everything. It's perfect. Yeah, I really like it. Sorry, play again. Just. I uploaded a live version of one of my songs and someone said, this is great but your voice is rubbish, and I said, yeah, I know, right? Like, I can't, but I am me. So like, I wrote this song and I'm playing it live, so I can only do what I've got. Like I write a song and like that song I've put a capo on the 3rd fret, so I'm singing it high. Like I could just take the capo off and then it would be fine, but I just sort of think that's the key it's in. Like it's really weird. Like I just write it and I'm like, okay, what key is the right key for that song? It's this key, so I just have to sing it in that key. That's the right key, and it doesn't matter if I can't sing in that key. I just go, well, I just have to because that's the key it's in. So like, most people would just move it for them, but I feel like no, it's like, what's the point of changing a song just to fit me when the song is in this key? I don't know. It's really weird. I can't really explain it.
My opinion of Alex was starting to change. He did seem genuine in his approach to the public's perception of him. He was a man that did what he wanted and didn't compromise in his art, despite what others might think. I spent another day with him observing as he recorded his first few videos for his comeback. Then, time came for my last day shooting with him. I wanted to address his response to the accusations made against him and his opinions on YouTube as a whole. However, something had surprised me about his comeback. The response had seemed pretty muted, the hatred seemed to have almost died down. My first question was whether he was surprised as much as me.
Yeah, it's weird that. I don't know why. I think that the hate must still be there. I assume that the hate is just going on somewhere else. It's just on Tumblr or something where I'm not seeing it. Because yeah, in my YouTube comments it's fine, but obviously they've learned that putting hate on my YouTube comments isn't making any difference really. And people in my YouTube comments also will stick up for me, so if someone comes and has a go, then they'll be like, oh, why are you even here? Like, just leave Alex alone. And like, they're really nice and really supportive, and kind of willing to stick up for me, which is really sweet. So they get shouted down. Oh, and also that I've got ads on my videos, so I guess they don't want to complain to me in a way that also supports me financially. So yeah, I guess they've just learned that that's not the place for. They can all just go and hate me somewhere else, and we can all just do our own thing. Which is what should have happened in the first place, really. Like, it just feels like the mature way to to go about things.
Do you feel like if you'd just carried on making videos all along, then it might have died down quicker?
Yeah.
Or?
I wish I had done that. Yeah, that's my biggest sort of regret about, not about the situation as in, you know, bigger than I wish I hadn't slept with so many people or whatever, but in terms of how I handled everything sort of from that moment, I think it didn't need to have been had as big of an impact as it did have, and the reason it had so much of an impact is because I let it. And actually, yeah, it could have easily, I could have just ignored it or just acknowledged it and then carried on making videos, and it would have been fine, I think. The fact that I went away for so long meant that a lot of people thought I must be guilty, and so then they were more suspicious whenever I said anything else, or it gave them extra motives in their head, like, oh well, he's obviously stopped making videos and it didn't work out, so he just came back or something like that. I felt like there was no point putting my side across because I tried twice on Tumblr to put my side across, like two different ways. The first way just being like, well, that didn't happen like that at all, and then loads of people shouted that down and had a massive go at me. So then I put a more considerate kind of, okay, well, yeah, I mean, some of these situations did happen, but not quite in these ways. But I realised that, you know, that's what I did wrong, and blah blah blah. And then still everyone had a go at me, and I was like, well, fucking hell, I'm not going to bother a third time. So I just stopped. But yeah, that was the kind of thought. I thought anything that it was like playing tennis. Like, I felt like any attempt I would make to try and say anything would just be hitting the ball back to them, so they could just serve it at me harder. And I didn't want to keep playing. So yeah, it was the only reason I did that really long video in the park in the end was because I thought that it's like, well, I haven't really given people a reason to defend me, because they don't really know what happened to that much extent. And I said in that video a lot, I was like, you know, loads of people aren't gonna like this, and loads of people are gonna just have a go at me for even having an opinion, and so just bear in mind that if you think this is reasonable, then just try and believe what you want and think about both sides, but don't, you know, yeah. And then that prompted the most vicious back serve. And then I just walked off the court. So it was good, yeah. But also I think most people like to be liked, and I'm not really like that, so it's hard for people to understand why I would ever not want people to like me. But I mean, you can't make everyone like you, so I just see it as a pointless battle to fight. A lot of people find it hard to understand me, I guess. And I find that really hard, because I think I'm just a very simple, straightforward person. I just kind of do what I want and try not to let anyone get hurt, and that's basically it. That's it. I mean, I say I'm pretty like upfront with people, but a lot of the people that had issues with me had issues because, you know, they were my girlfriend and I was sleeping with other people, and for all me being like, I'm really upfront with people, like, I wasn't upfront with her. So it's an obvious comeback to be like, well, you're fucking not, because look at all this shit you did. But apart from that, I'm very upfront. I mean, I'm upfront now. I'm upfront about everything now. I had a sort of, I don't know, blind spot for relationships where I was just really rubbish at them, and I'm happy to have sorted that out.
With our time together drawing to a close, I wanted to ask Alex one more thing: where he saw his YouTube channel going in the future, and how he saw his YouTube career as a whole.
For a good part of your life, YouTube was your career, and to a sense it still sort of is, in a way?
I don't think it ever has been. I've never considered it as my career. Like, it always used to bug me when people used to say, but YouTube is your job. I'm like, YouTube's the thing I make money from, but that doesn't make it my job. Like, I don't think that anyone's, you know, life should be defined by the thing they do that earns the most.
For some YouTubers, maybe they would say that YouTube is
Yeah, some people would, yeah. And I think that's really weird, because because it won't last forever. It won't even last probably, I don't know, it might not even last 5 more years for most YouTubers, because as I was saying, even the best ones, people just lose interest and they move on to new people. So you literally have a shelf life. It's not, you haven't got a job for life if you're on YouTube, and so if you invest all of your time in that, you're investing your time in something that you'll eventually just have nothing. So that's silly. Videos was me goofing off. When I was working on music or writing, I would then be like, oh, and you know what, I've got a fun idea for a video, so I'll just do that. And it always felt like the fun distraction from what I was supposed to be doing. And it just happened to build an audience. That's what I mean about it not being like work. It was just a weird fluke that it did really well. It shouldn't have. I watched some of Alex Reed's Twilight back, and it's not that funny. It's just me going, reading out a sentence and being like, fucking Stephanie Meyer, and that's the joke. Every joke of Alex Reed's Twilight is the same punchline. Stephanie Meyer isn't a very good writer. That's the whole joke. Whereas I can't do that in the Bible. I can't just read a sentence and be like, fucking worded mental, and just do that every time. I've actually had to, I'm almost thinking of it like a stand-up routine or something. Like I read it and really try and pull it apart and think of good jokes that I can make and make it like a solid bit that I can upload. So it feels more like work, but I'm sort of prouder of it as a result. If it was more like I've accomplished something. So then I'm more grateful when people watch it. Yeah. I kind of see my YouTube channel as like an extension of my music, I don't want to say marketing, but just like a way of just continuing to build that relationship with my audience. But it still comes with music at the heart of it. It's just because I want to make sure that there's stuff there so that then when I release an album it's not annoying and people are open to it and stuff like that. But that's still the thing. Like, if I could make money full time from just being a musician, that's all I would do, and I would love it. Yeah. This is my favourite of all the songs that we had going in. I was like, this is the best song I've written so far for this album. I don't know if it's a problem that I don't think any of the others are as good as this. Because originally I was like, cool, I'll wait until I've written 10 of these. I just haven't. And what I've done is just written 10 songs I like enough. But this one's great. This is really good. This is like the hit. I don't have the answers. I don't even know what questions I should ask. I wrote this in Plum Village.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe I'd go back and do things differently if I could change the past. But I am not ashamed of my mistakes because they made me who I am.
My time filming with Alex was over. I'd wanted to make a film about what it would be like for him to come back onto YouTube when everyone seemingly hated him so much. I had always hoped to make a balanced film, but I was grateful to Alex for being so honest with me. He admitted he had made mistakes in the past and had seemed to have learnt from them. I expected there to be much vitriol to him returning, hateful comments dominating his videos. However, it hadn't really turned out that way. Sure, there was some hate there, but most of it had died down. Selfishly, I was almost disappointed. I was happy that it had worked out for Alex, but it felt like I didn't really have a story, or at least not the one I was expecting. Alex's comments about internet personalities having a shelf life had resonated with me. The film I had expected to make had changed, the conclusion being that maybe in the fast-paced world of the internet, people just move on from one thing to the next, finding something else to be angry about. I sat on the footage, not knowing in which direction to go with the film. Almost 9 months after filming with Alex, something happened. Alex made a video, a rap containing every spell in the Harry Potter universe. It went viral. The newspaper The Metro featured it on their website. Then, late one night, I received a text. It was Alex. Hey man, people are very angry about my new video being featured in the Metro. Seems like people are still interested in me in some way. Might be a good time to capitalise on it and get your documentary out there. The text made me laugh. I don't think I've ever met anyone else who would encourage someone to capitalise on the hateful comments they were receiving. Maybe the story I had initially wanted to tell was still there. I did what Alex said. I capitalised.
now I am here, I'm wide awake, and I will turn each moment inside out. I will breathe life into me, entangle myself in it here and now. And I will run outside into the cold dark night, and in the dawning light I will breathe again. And in the dawning light I will breathe again. And in the dawning light I will breathe again.